Hi, my name is Emily Fearing, and today I will be talking about the ethical dilemma that is human population control. And initially, my first thought of when thinking about the controlling of a population was China's one-child policy that was implemented in 1979 to 2015. Some other policies that I understood was birth control and contraceptives that are used today, and then also sterilization, which is often an extreme of controlling the population. No matter your identity and who you are, this issue alone greatly affects you. Whether you're pro life, pro choice, planning on making a family, avoiding having children, whether you're in college, whether you are in high school, whether you are affected by overpopulation itself, it affects you. And the big ethical question is, should the human population be controlled? And again, everyone has their stance on this and everyone has their view on this, and those I'll be touching on today. My first viewpoint of someone is those who consider themselves pro-life. They are not for abortions being widely accessible, especially in other countries where women don't have the resources. Whether this is against their religious beliefs or they are not for it, they are not in agreement of giving those resources out. Also in fear that eugenics will be a possibility if certain doors are open for the population control. Those who consider themselves pro-choice are for giving resources to other countries and as well as our own, widely making birth control a priority to give to people if they want it, making sure that they know where to get it and that it is free and accessible. Also, other forms of contraceptives. A former candidate in the Democratic Party for president was Bernie Sanders. He stated in an interview that human population control would be a policy he would implement if he was elected to office. And again, one of his fears was that the growing population would begin to harm our environment because a lot of people and advocates state that the growing population is a result from our climate change and some of the issues we are having in it. And in 1994, the United Nations Population Information Network organized a conference to talk about the growing population. I'm going to read an excerpt from there. We acknowledge the fact that abortions constitute a major public health concern for all women over the world. Since they use family planning methods may prevent the prevalence of unplanned pregnancies, we call upon all national governments to reduce the need for abortions by providing universal access to family planning information services. This alone is kind of saying that if governments start to implement more education in the sexual health realm, also by giving more access to birth control, the need for abortions will decrease. And this would benefit many sides, all people in general. Some of the advocates for human population control, again, mention that it will combat our climate change and it will also reduce some effects in the environment later on in 10 to 20 years to come, and that this can prevent a lot of issues. Also, the quality of life, that it will help our quality of life in years to come. Also, they believe it is the most effective way in combating our climate change. Those who believe the population should not be controlled, these individuals do not feel as if the population is going to get out of hand. They feel that eventually it's going to hit a peak and that we are going to be able to control it. And then the UN also has forecasted that the 12th billion human will not be born. This is hopeful for those who are scared about this, but this is also unreliable to those who are not positive about this turnout. Also, some believe that only slight action should be taken, whether that's only providing birth control and making it more accessible or just providing that education that people need. Some ramifications to a lot of this is people are scared that forced birth control will become again, forced. They're scared that other countries will be given the aid, but it will be widely enforced, and as well as abortions will be a lot more common than before. And this is a large concern, especially for those who are pro-life. Again, eugenics was something pro-life, and many people are scared that could happen, and that is when the government or a group of people deem one person or group of people or race more deemed right to life than another. Also, many people are scared that if we do absolutely nothing about the population, that in years to come we will have a decreased quality of life, we will run out of resources, we will become overpopulated. So by not taking any action at all, it could lead to some pretty intense ramifications. Also, people, again, are scared of forced contraceptives, that they will be made to take it, and it'll be enforced heavily. Some alternatives that could happen before heavily implementing some of these policies could be, again, just like educating in the sexual health realm, making sure in high schools and colleges that kids are knowing where they are able to get these resources, how to have practice safe sexual health and everything in that realm, so we are avoiding the unplanned pregnancies, and also for those who are not for abortions, that we are not having to have more than necessary, but also to have the resources for those who want them and they know they are accessible. Again, giving birth control and providing clinics in other countries that need it, and making sure that they know where to get it and that other countries are on board with that as well. Reducing the waste and increasing awareness to help our planet and to help us create a better environment for everyone and those to come. Again, future generations. Also, evolving and continuing to support our healthcare system and making sure that we are constantly growing to support everyone and the future humans that will be on this planet with us. Personally, I believe that some action should be taken in controlling the population. I think by starting with education, I think that will be helpful drastically, whether that is in high schools or colleges or wherever it is, just making sure that it is known, the resources and the people they can talk to, and also properly educating our teens and our young adults. I think that alone will be able to combat a lot of further issues. And again, making contraceptives more accessible and making it less of a stigma. I think that could help a lot. Also, I just think this is going to be an ongoing issue. We are going to be dealing with the growth of the population for a long time, and by thinking ahead and thinking of strategies that are going to benefit rather than harm people, we could really get a step in the right direction on how to combat some of these issues, and in the end, the continuing ethical dilemma of should we be controlling the human population. Thank you.